That's mean. I'm not allowed to have coffee until I get this done. So we're going to do it really quickly, all right? Letter number 1 coming your way right now. Here we go. Some days he says that he wants to throttle his sister. Did I get that out? Throttle his sister. Other days he's thinking that he needs to walk away. They're arguing over mum's will. The grandkids are in, everybody's having their 2 cents worth. No good. Second letter tonight. I'm going to fall over and they've told me I'm not allowed to pivot. I'm sick of kids being overprotected. Can you see that? Hang on, there we go. Am I still in the position? I'm sick of kids being overprotected. This is letter 2. Is it now politically incorrect to let kids be kids? Yeah, in some ways it is. And the last letter tonight, which is all the way down here, I don't really cut her off from the granddaughters, but she's a slut. All this and more with our panellists coming up right now. See you soon. Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for the next fun-filled, we hope, half hour. First up tonight, we're going to introduce you to our panellists. Hello, Maddie.
G'day, Gary, and it's good to be back, mate.
Mate, I haven't seen you for ages.
It's been a while. The young fella's soccer season and assistant coach has taken up a fair bit of my time, but glad to be back.
That's what happens. Life happens. You're into training already.
Yeah, another telethon. So this year, 2 parts to it. Met a young kid at telethon last year. He's 14 years old. And he's one of 5 siblings. He's got a couple of 6 brothers and sisters. And I vowed to do a ride with him. And so we're going to ride from Geraldton to Perth to raise money for telethon. And then a month later, do the 24 hours on the grinder again.
Oh, you're doing that separately?
Separately, month apart.
Oh, you're a glutton for punishment. Gosh, I hope the kids appreciate it when you walk in there with your walking stick and they wheel you in. Beck, first timer on the show.
Hi.
Lovely to have you
Thank
here.
Thank you very much.
Kids a Buzz?
Yes, Kids a
What
Buzz.
makes Kids a Buzz?
Kids a Buzz is a family discount voucher book, an app. So
an app.
been doing that for 10 years now. So just, I guess, similar concept to the entertainment
Only
book.
in WA?
All of WA,
All
10
of
different
WA?
sections. So yeah.
Our Eastern States viewers, you're not allowed to call them Eastern States. Only people in
Why not?
WA call them the Eastern Status.
What
and
do they
everybody
call
else
us?
calls, well, they call us lots of things.
Yeah, we won't go there.
We won't go there. Good to have you here.
Thank you, thank you.
Have you been away again?
Yes, what are you talking about
Oh,
again?
we know that, don't we? All right. Where did you go? What did you do? Did you work on any movie sets?
Not movie sets, a couple of fashion film sets, yeah. So I got the opportunity to go to Milan for some work initially, and that's kind of kick-started it. And then from then on, went and did more of Italy. Croatia was my favourite. I'd go
Bit of
there
a working
again.
holiday thing, was it?
Croatia, and then Greece, and then Amsterdam.
Sounds tough, guys. What do you reckon?
Each
So you've come back for a break
I have, I need a break now.
to our wonderful weather in winter. Welcome
terrible.
home, Anita. Jono, lovely to have you
Hey
here,
Gary,
sir.
great to be here.
Fantastic that you've actually spared the time to come and see us.
Oh well,
because-
you know, you're worth it. You're worth it.
Oh,
I got out of
you're a
bed
very-
this afternoon to be here
Oh,
in time.
what time do you have to be at work tonight?
Midnight.
Midnight?
Yeah,
And
pretty
you'll
much.
knock off at what time?
5 a.m. 5 hours. 5 hours of sitting in a chair, drinking coffee, talking to the people.
Sounds
a lot
like
like
Sweet and
this, really. It's just like sweet and sour.
Good to have you here, sir. Here we go. First letter, number 1 tonight, entitled Where There's a Will. Dear Mitch and panel, my husband is being cheated by his sister out of his portion of their mum's will. It's not an abundance of money, but it's enough to have us to have allowed us to live more comfortably, pay off the mortgage, and perhaps take a trip every few years to Europe. Sounds like a hell of a lot of money to me. He's in 2 minds. Some days he says that he wants to throttle his sister. Other days he's thinking that he needs to walk away because his sister certainly cared more for their mum in the past 2 years of her life. The will, however, originally had split things fairly evenly, but was written years ago before there were grandchildren. His sister has 3 kids and we have none. The eldest of those kids has been on the phone to my husband every few days demanding that he not challenge his mother, because she was the primary carer for Granny and that the grandkids are legally entitled. There's that era of entitlement popping up. I want him to challenge. He says lawyers' fees will eat everything away if he proceeds. It really nags me, though, that his nephew makes demands of my husband and has this huge sense of entitlement. What would the panellists do in this situation, please? It comes to us from Amanda in Croydon in South Australia. Jono, you're first up.
Wow.
They're terrible situations when, you know, mum goes, wants to leave it like this, and then all of a sudden somebody says, nah, I want more.
It's all about the money, isn't it? You know, why can't it be about the families? Why can't it be about the love? It sort of seems like that the sister probably does deserve the money if we want to work that out. Regarding entitlements, I'm not really big on entitlements. I think if you work hard enough for it, you deserve it. I actually think the biggest problem here is the relationship between him and his wife. I think what really needs to be worked out there is how those two agree and disagree and work out solutions. Otherwise, this is one of many problems they're going to face in their life.
She's always going to be nagging him. Oh, you should have got that money.
Exactly.
We'd be going on a trip by now if you had got that money. Yeah,
Yep.
That's a good point.
And the nephew, I think he needs a good talking to, because he shouldn't be talking to his uncle like that, because it's uncool.
Uncool. Anita, why do families do this to one another? The mother clearly stipulated that she wants half each. She didn't have a mind to include the grandkids because as I would see it, they've got half each. That's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. And it is really, really hard to fight any will. So once a will's been put in place, it's very unlikely that if anyone does challenge that, unlikely that they will win. So really, this is something between the brother and the sister. It's got nothing to do with the grandkids, anything, where he needs to sit down with his sister and say, look, we get, obviously the will says it's split in half, but I'm willing to give you just a little bit more because the last 2 years, obviously you did help mum out a little bit more. That's the right thing to do, but he doesn't have to do that. It is just between the two of them, nobody else.
Gosh, sounds like the son or the grandson is saying, give it all to mum so
Yeah.
he can get some. That's terrible. Beck, your view.
I'd just like to say, first of all, Amanda, I'm sorry for the loss in your family.
Aw.
You know, I'm lucky that I've got my parents. I have just recently lost my, 3 weeks ago, my father-in-law. So thank gosh we're
sorry,
not
Beck.
fighting over wills and things like that. I have a great relationship with my sister-in-law. So I think there's a bit of a relationship thing going on between the wife, his wife, and the sister-in-law, because I would just never ever do that, and I don't think you should do that anyway. First of all, it's none of her business anyway, at all. And not an abundance of money. Come
Wow.
on, go
Seems
to
like a lot
Europe.
to me.
Pay off the mortgage, go to Europe. I just think she needs to support her husband more than anything, and just butt out and let it evolve itself. He's now hasn't got a good relationship with his sister. His nephew's now involved in it, and it seems to be the wife that's going, you need to do this, you need to do this.
Come on, Sheep.
Yeah, well, the wife, you sound like a real nasty bitch, Amanda. Look, I think it's got nothing to do with the kids at all. Some people are motivated by money, some aren't. So if your husband is comfortable in not challenging it, then I would let him have his last say. As far as the mum goes, I reckon if she wanted to leave it to her the two
Grandkids.
siblings,
Yeah.
then well enough.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere in there does it say that because you've got grandkids, you must get more money. So it's got nothing to do with the family whatsoever. But if he doesn't want to challenge it, I'd let him go with it, because some people, as I said, are not motivated by money.
Yeah, you know what? And, I don't take this thing because they cared for the mum. You know, sometimes it's not a question of money. I cared. You care because you love the person.
Correct.
And those people who can't because they're not in the state, they would be there as well.
Yeah, but Gary,
They
saying
have to
that
step
now,
up.
it may look like that she's only done that so she can get more cut of the will.
That's
So
exactly what it
could-
looks
could be
like.
turned around.
That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, your sister.
Show me the money.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about whether kids aren't allowed to be kids anymore. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. Don't go away.
Getting in touch with Sweet and Sour is easy. Just head to sweetandsour.net.au to send us a letter. And while you're there, why not check out our past episodes? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Sweet and Sour, check us out on Instagram.
And for every one of our letter writers, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week, there it is up on your screen, is Love and Friendship. Do you know the song?
Love and friendship.
No. Close, no cigar.
It's love and marriage, isn't it?
Hello, Sweet and Sour panel. I'm sick of kids being overprotected. It stops them maturing. I loved playing British Bulldog when I was at school. I couldn't wait for lunchtime so we could run and charge at our mates. I've just read that the WA state government has disallowed British Bulldog in schools to protect children from injury. Are they serious? Aren't we now going overboard? For the government to step in and ban what is effectively playtime is just overprotectionism in the extreme in my mind. Kids aren't allowed to be kids anymore. Really? What's next? Footy? Rugby? How about we just wrap them all in cotton wool and be done with it? Getting hurt when we were kids taught us to be more careful as we grew. That's the learning experience. We only learn by making mistakes. There's no gain without pain. This move is ludicrous. Is it now politically incorrect to allow kids to be kids? What could possibly be a positive for society in creating a generation of mollycoddled, because that's where we're heading, and it comes to us from Frank of Cloverdale in WA. Anita, are we overprotecting our kids?
Yeah, to an extent, but do you know, I didn't even know what British Bulldog was.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it when I was a
I
kid.
had to ask what it was.
Yeah, well, you have a whole line of boys and girls now, and people in the middle of the oval are trying to stop you, and you yell charge, and you just run across. You do one at a time. Anyway.
So how is that different to any other sport?
It's not.
Like touch rugby. I was in the
not.
touch rugby team.
Touch rugby.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't not
What-
touching. You
touch-
end up
what's
bashing
touch
everybody
rugby?
up
Pussy's
anyway.
game.
No, it's a great game. I wish I was in that game.
Touch rugby.
Yeah, I had
Touch
great
rugby.
fun.
Are we overprotective?
I don't think so.
What
I
about
don't know.
a crowd? Of course we are.
Are we?
Yeah, in a bad way.
I don't know. See, I don't have kids, but if I had kids, I would.
Push
I
them
would
up
let
the
them.
stairs.
No, I just think I learned as a child, well, when we were younger as well, like we weren't allowed to sit and watch TV and play video games. We had to go outside, and the amount of times my brother had his toes taken off because I would dinghy him on the bikes, and we had
Had his toes
broken arm. Yeah, he lost his toe. Like the amount of stories,
got any
like the bruises and the cuts that we all
Normal.
had was normal, and
Normal.
we just
fell
we get told
downstairs,
off, don't do that again, and you
Broke
kind of
my
like
arm.
yeah, it's like
Broke
well,
my ankle.
so
Broke a lot of
I
things.
don't know. I don't really take notice of what the kids are like because I don't have children. So
All right, Jono.
I used to love the game British
Me
Bulldogs. It was the best.
The best.
At lunchtime, it was pretty much
At
the
lunchtime.
entire school would be on one side, and we'd get the toughest kid in the school, which would have been Matt if you'd have been at our school. And then we'd just charge, and he'd take like 3 down with this side and 3 down with that side. And if you didn't want to get hurt, which was usually me, I'd just fall over in the beginning and then join in the middle, right? And then you just hang out of the back, and you'd see your best friend, and you'd try and take your best friend down. And it was a whole lot of fun. But I actually wonder if maybe the teachers don't want this to happen because they were tired of students returning back to class a bit smelly. You know, because you'd run and you'd smell and you'd get.
I remember in high
Oh,
school.
we'd go for it though.
So even if you didn't move.
Well, I think that might be one of the reasons.
There's another issue though, and that is, schools are
Go
now,
for it.
having to cover their insurance bills.
It's a duty, yeah,
and
it's a duty of care.
It's just got too expensive. That's all. Well, you'd rather your dollars go into education than into nursing and hospitalisation and all that sort of thing.
Look,
Come on, Matty, tell us.
I love this letter. It is true to my heart. This. We are breeding soft kids that are going to be soft in society. I see it all the time with work experience kids when they come to work and you ask them politely to do something, they question it. In general sport, when you have little kids, and I've been involved in as a volunteer in junior sport for over 10 years, if you say something wrong to little Johnny, his mum's on your back. It's just gone ridiculous. We really need to toughen up our kids in society, or when in later years we're going to have major problems. And I'm not just talking about sport, I'm talking about relationship problems,
Yeah.
I'm talking about job problems. Kids are not going to know how to handle the knockbacks when they go for a job. They're not going to be able to be told, don't do that, and they take it as aggression. It's just really wrong. And I think a lot of people that now should really give their kids, a lot of tough love. Get them out there, get them dirty, get them playing, but also get them amongst it. And if they fall down, let them get themselves back up.
Beck, the real world is tough,
Okay,
says Maddie.
I have got 2 boys, aged 10 and 12, and I don't want them playing British Bulldog at school. First of all,
Because?
because they're at an age, well, first of all, there's only 40 minutes for lunch, 20 minutes to eat, 20 minutes to play. I don't want to be washing their school uniforms every night anyway with mud and
So it's back
grass.
to you then. So
It is
you-
back to me.
so
So it's all about me
saving
as a
you
mum,
time.
yeah. But it is a duty of care for the school now. And look, boys that age,
That's a lot of crap.
no, look, in school, that's go and do that on the weekends. Go and do your sport on the weekends. At
So
school,
at lunchtime, when they want to socialise and play with their friends,
Yeah.
are they supposed to sit down?
no, they play a bit of cricket, they'll play footy, they'll play something. But something like British Bulldog, what happens in that age then is, okay, it becomes competitive, testosterone, they
Yeah,
end
what's
up
wrong with that,
fighting,
though?
they end up,
But
because
life
then
is
they're going back to
competitive.
school,
You
but
need-
not at school.
Life
It's
is
not at
competitive,
school.
but if we don't teach these kids how to be
Not-
competitive now, when they get to
Not at
jobs,
school.
you have to fight for love. You have to fight for job positions. If we're not teaching these kids how to be,
But
fighting
that's
for
for
what
us
they
to
want.
teach them, not the school, not in the
No, but
schoolyard.
they learn that
That's
through their
for
friends
us.
as well.
Yeah, but they play footy and they play
Yes.
cricket and they
Your
play.
boys are learning off each other.
Yeah, but
no buts.
I think
We
it's
gotta
just
wrap.
about the school. It's
We got to wrap. I don't know whether we're going to solve this one, and it'll go on for a long time yet. I used to ditch my lunch and go and
go
play
play.
British
Well,
Bulldog. I
yeah.
used to love it. It was far more exciting than sandwiches. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Granny, who grew up in Flower Power era and still wants to pursue it. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. See you soon. So,
This is my second time here at Sweet and Sour, and it feels like I've been here forever. I love you guys. Thank you for having me back. Fantastic.
Time for Sweet and
anyway, not that. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Straight into letter number 3. Dear Mitch and guests, my mum is a child of the 60s. Flower power, free love and all that. In so many ways, she's still a hippie. I don't want her around my kids. She's a very unholy influence around my 2 girls. I've asked her to keep her attitudes away from the girls, but it doesn't stop the 2 of them excitedly chatting about wanting to try sexual experiences as a result of a visit by Granny. They are only 9 and 11. Mum has a broken moral compass. She was fine when I was growing up, and my dad always knew how to keep Mum in check. When Mum left Dad for a woman, just after I married 14 years ago, well, let's just say that flower power started blooming again. I don't really want to cut her off from the granddaughters, but I don't think I have a choice. Her influence is just unacceptable. My brother cut Mum away from his family years ago, and he keeps telling me it was the best move he made for them. He has 2 boys and a girl. I argued with him at the time, but now I feel the same frustrations. Plainly speaking, Mum's just sexually overt with men and women. My dad has remarried and just keeps saying to me that she's my mum, and my brother and I turned out fine, and we did. I can't have my daughters growing up as loose girls, however, so as I said, I have no choice but to cut Mum away. Do the panellists see another solution? It comes to us from B of Clovelly in New South Wales. For some tender loving, first up to Matt.
Well, who doesn't love a horny grandma? Eh? Is there any number here? Is there a phone number here? No? Listen, she sounds like a right hoot, this actual lady. I think kids today, they see so much on television, and I think we try and hide away too much of what's gone on in yesterday. Maybe just speak to your mum and maybe tone it down a little bit when she's with the kids. But, you know, today I think we wrap kids up in cotton wool, and I wouldn't cut my mum and dad off just because I didn't like how they grew up. If you turned out okay, I think that they'll be right as well.
The kids are 9 and 11. You know, what Granny's speaking is stuff that the kids really don't understand, but it excites them.
I'd be surprised. They know more than you think. Look, B,
Ooh.
I think your mum sounds fabulous. Yeah, she might be a little bit out there, but, you know, I agree. Speak to her and just set some boundaries. You know, it is your job to be teaching your daughters or anybody, you know, as a parent, just teaching your own kids when it's appropriate time, when is it not. I don't think
She's
it's
entitled. She's the mum.
Just be a nan, you know, be a nan, have fun with it.
What does she say to her mother to stop her? She's already counselled her once. What does she say?
Oh, I don't
Just
know.
tone it down a bit. Just you
well-
know, they don't need to know all about how everything works right now, but you can
Well,
drip
maybe
feed
they
them.
do.
Well,
But look,
look,
kids
they
today-
do.
Yeah,
Look,
they do.
my boys are in year 4 and 6, and the stuff that they know and come out with. And that's just from watching even movies. To watch a video clip now, and it's totally sexually loose girls all over it. You know, there's...
And look, they're on it and they're expressing themselves with a bit of nudity.
Yeah, but maybe we look at it more...
I'm sure we do with our values.
We know, but the kids, my boys probably don't know it. Right, it's probably over their head.
Said, now it's available on the internet. You're going to get it at school anyway.
It's everywhere.
Why wouldn't you take the parental role and just sit down after Granny's been there and say, look, Granny's told you
can't Granny come to her place? Can't she just say, look, Mum, come to my place for a little while now?
Shouldn't the mother be teaching the kids about respect and what's right and
That's
wrong? And you know, take Granny and go, well, she's lived a great life. She grew up in an era that everyone was that way inclined.
But these are our values.
Yes,
these are the values that, it's a good opportunity to teach your kids values. And if you think Granny's wrong, well, have a little bit of respect for your kids' minds as well. They might be able to discern
Let them enjoy a relationship with their gran.
Anita,
Yes.
you've changed your mind while you've been listening to all of this, haven't you?
No, I
okay.
I don't know. This is just such a weird
Not
letter.
allowed to say I don't know on this show. It's an opinion-based program.
Oh, look, I agree with the other panellists that
Not allowed to agree
you're
on
the
this
mum.
program.
You're the mum, and it's entirely up to you how your children and how your girls are brought up. Yes, they can have the influences around them, but it's under your roof. It's your foundation, so you teach them the morals and the values that that you've been brought up in, and that's usually what they adapt. And then they look at what's around them and they compare, and they, that's where they learn.
Is there anything wrong with Granny?
Look, Granny's a bit out there. She's not like my two grandmas, but then that's obviously of different areas and different backgrounds. That's the thing, it's their cultural backgrounds as well, is what makes us who we are, pretty much. So I think
different anyway. She's not a hippie.
She's not a hippie.
Flower
Be
power.
running around like that?
My nonna would not be running around like that.
She wasn't a flower power.
She wasn't a
hippie
flower
either.
power hippie, but you know what? Everyone to their own, and I'm sure that there's a little bit of flower power in you yourself.
Yeah.
Has to be.
That you've obviously just grown
What's
up
life
out with
done
it,
to
and your
you?
girls are going to be the same.
Last word to a man, Jono.
Wow, this grandmother sounds incredible. This letter has all the hallmarks of a great Hollywood movie. I actually think I'd be writing it all down and sending the script up to Hollywood because there'd be some big money to be made here. But seriously, I'd be forging a relationship. You might want to come along when the children are with Granny, just to keep an eye on things.
Supervise. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Open up the world and have some fun. I think she must be quite a spirited person. An unholy influence? I mean, how bad do you have to be an unholy influence?
She's become a wowser in
And
her
I
old
don't want
age.
my girls being loose.
You don't
Yeah.
want what?
My
she
girls
doesn't
bit of
being
freedom.
loose.
Nobody wants their girls to be
Different
loose.
era now. It's different times.
Jono, do you like this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies courtesy of Alon Treves, or do you like another?
I like
You do?
this letter because
like this
nothing
letter?
says cool 60s like sunglasses.
True. Anita, do you like this letter?
No, letter 2.
You like letter 2, which was about
British Bulldog.
overprotective kids.
British Bulldog, I like
I'm
that.
going with flower power grand.
You choose letter 3.
Yeah.
Which one did you like?
I like letter 2.
Oh. Me. It's always based on costs and postage, isn't it? Which one's from Perth?
That's British Bulldog.
Frank of Cloverdale, WA. Thank you for writing in, sir. You made it cheaper for us.
Could you come pick it up?
There you go. Well, we can just drop it off. Coming.
Drop it off on the way home.
Where is it? Cloverdale. Good on you, Frank.
Nice
Coming
and
out to
handy.
you, a pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alon Treves. We've got to go.
6 foot 4.
Maddie, nice to see you, sir.
Great to be back.
Gosh, you got a lot of work to do between now and telethon.
Yeah, looking forward to the challenge, and it's for a great cause. Telethon is for a fantastic cause, and make sure everyone gets behind it here in Perth.
We always do. We've got a great community that's way backed into for telethon for years and years and years and years.
But it's one of those weekends where everyone just puts down their moral compass and they all get on and they all chip in for the same cause, isn't it? All the networks
Sure is.
come together, and none better than your mate Basil over at
Freedom.
Channel 7.
That's it. Kids are buzz. That's all about
Thank
kids
you.
too.
It is.
You enjoyed your first night on the show?
I have loved it.
I reckon
I
you'll
can't
be
believe
back.
it's over.
You enjoyed it then?
I
It's
loved
okay.
it.
That's what my mum said.
Yeah, all right.
I can't believe it's over. I loved it. I can't believe it's over.
Are you going away again, or can we have you back on the show
Yeah.
without a trip in between?
No, get me back.
Jono,
Let's do it.
we've got to let you go because you've got some work to do tonight, don't
It's going to
you?
be radioactive.
Radioactive. Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everybody. This is where you wave, Beck. You put the hand up on your... Not like that. Sheep. Come on, mate. What's going on? Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Come on.